Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us once again for our bi-weekly guided meditation and live stream here at the Blue Lotus Meditation and Mindfulness Center here in Brainerd, Minnesota. I'm delighted to come to you tonight to offer a wonderful perspective over 2024, what our center has done, our accomplishments, and just how we've supported you and the community, and more importantly, how you all have supported yourself through our teachings. Excuse me for 1 second. I have a little visitor up here who wants to try to play around with the camera. It's so nice when he comes to play, and he's so curious. And that's actually a very important aspect of mindfulness is being curious, right? Not just taking things as they are all the time, but exploring in that sense. And Gus, our cat, absolutely does that. So today is December 23rd. It's a little after 6 p.m. here in the Central Time Zone, where we are located in central Minnesota in Brainerd. Just a brief announcement, though, before we begin. Our 2025 event calendar is up. All events are listed with days and times, and most of them begin in May once the weather breaks, because we are in the tradition of a forest monastery. And here in central Minnesota, if you're familiar with the weather, it gets absolutely cold sometimes. So it makes practicing mindfulness a little bit challenging for some. And so we try to be mindful of that as well. And so take a look at our website if you like, and see what's out there that you may be interested in. But let's begin with our 3 jewels to the Buddha. So I take refuge in the Buddha. I take refuge in the Dharma. I take refuge in the Sangha. Very nice. So tonight's topic, again, we're going to be reflecting on the year of 2024, all of our accomplishments that we have achieved, and your support, and how we've supported you, and how you have supported yourself. Again, most importantly, right? It's how you have supported yourself. We're just a vessel. We're just a tool. You're the ones that are actually doing the work. Right? It's like a screwdriver or a hammer, right? They can just sit there and do nothing, right? Until they're picked up. So we'll begin with our guided meditation, and it's appropriate for us to think about gratitude at the end of the year, right? We may have had a challenging year, right? Some of us may have, more so than others. But regardless, we can all appreciate the little things, right, that we have experienced. And so this guided meditation is appreciating the small things. Small things very often are the biggest boosters of our well-being. So let's go ahead and take a moment to settle our bodies into a comfortable position. You may close your eyes or keep them open in a slight focus, soft focus. Looking downward a few feet in front of you, if you choose. Breathe in. Pause. And breathe out. And as you sit there, you are certainly warmly invited to allow a half smile to rest on your face as well. Allow your spine to lift and your shoulders to soften. And soften your belly as you continue to settle in. Breathe in. Pause. And breathe out. And then let's meditate on gratitude this evening. And let's begin this practice of gratitude by just noticing something simple that you're experiencing right now. It could be the sight of a tree swaying in the wind by you. It could be your cat walking by you, your puppy. Maybe it's the warm cup of tea or coffee in your hands. Or perhaps it is the softness of your cat or dog sitting in your lap. Or feeling the warmth of the sunshine on your skin. Maybe the experience of comfort from the chair that you're sitting on, or the simple wonder of pausing in the middle of your busy life to engage with this practice right now. And choosing one simple thing to notice in this moment, allow it to fully absorb your experience and let appreciation and gratitude arise and fill your body and your mind. Just simple appreciation for this one simple moment right now. Reflect on someone perhaps that you don't know very well, but has supported your experience today in some way. This person could be the bus driver, or a person who filled the produce section at the grocery store earlier. Maybe they're the author of a book you're reading right now. But just reflecting on someone who you don't really know and supported you in some way allows you to practice and nurture gratitude. And allow yourself to feel how you benefit from their work. And just allowing yourself to feel some appreciation and gratitude for their efforts. Now think about the tools that you use to support your work in your life. Tools like your computer, your books, equipment, or even the office building that you may occupy. Consider all that was needed for their creation. How many people were involved in making an office building or your home? Knowing how much these things have benefited you for your work and for your survival. And just feel some appreciation, or allowing yourself to feel that appreciation and gratitude that you have access to these tools and locations. And now feeling gratitude for the people who you work and live with. Or perhaps thinking about a particular person whose work or effort directly supports you in your life. Appreciating their contribution and their good intentions. Saying in your mind to them, thank you. And now bring to mind someone who you really, truly care about. Someone who makes your heart sing in some way. And picture them in your mind. Thinking about what that person means to you. And what do you appreciate about them? Who they are? And what you've experienced together, perhaps over this last year. And as you imagine them, notice what feelings you're experiencing and what sensations you detect in your body, especially around your heart. And let yourself express gratitude towards them and thanking them for who they are and for the presence that they have in your life. And you can even visualize them receiving your gratitude and feeling it. And allow the sense of gratitude for being just to simply fill you completely as you breathe in and breathe out. Settling your mind on your breath, here and now, alive and present in this moment. Go ahead and begin to open your eyes and perhaps adjust your body before moving around. Sometimes sitting there can get our legs a little numb sometimes. Sometimes when we have new practitioners join us, It's they get that little numbness, that little numbness in their ankles or their thighs and legs, and so it's have to be careful. I have to remind everyone that their bodies are different, right? And this may be a new experience, sitting there in mindful meditation for a significant amount of time. So we take care of ourselves so we don't fall and hurt ourselves or perhaps someone else. So I am very delighted to just come to you this evening and talking about our reflection on for 2024 here at our center. And one of the things that we host retreats in the summertime. Again, we're in the tradition of a forest monastery. Excuse me. In the tradition of a forest monastery here in central Minnesota. So a lot of our retreats and in-person offerings, are conducted outside, so we can get back to nature, get away from the offices and home settings, right? So we can get in tune with ourselves. And so we have a window basically of May to early October sometimes that we can offer in-person retreats. So we can certainly travel and go to other locations, but if we're hosting them at our center, we have to be mindful of the weather. And one of the retreats that I am really happy to host and is that teen retreat for our teenagers. As many of us know, being a teenager in the 21st century is hard, right? Many of us did not grow up with social media, and especially with the advent of the internet and Facebook and Snapchat and Instagram and all the other ones and so forth. They promote new challenges and different challenges to our teens. And so at our teen retreat, it's all paid for, right, through our generous donations that we receive. And teenagers can come and learn about themselves, learn about social media, learn about their own identities, right? Things that are bothering them, relationships, and they learn how to negotiate them through the Buddhist teachings, through the Dharma, through mindfulness, so that they are well adjusted, so that they don't feel badly about themselves, right? So it's very important. And so this year, our teen retreat, it was a day camp for the most part. You can't tell teenagers it's a day camp, but it's a day camp, right? This year in 25, though, it's going to be an overnight camp. We're going to up it a little bit. But last year, it's a mindfulness retreat for teenagers. And attendance was a little bit lower than last year, than 2023. But we had a nice turnout, and the participants or the practitioners, right, learned a lot and supported themselves. The other new retreat that we offered in 2024 for the summer was our refuge retreat. A refuge retreat, and the premise behind this is a lot of times homes can be filled with domestic violence and abuse and just very hurtful settings, for men and for women. Okay, so men experience domestic violence as well. Oftentimes it's underreported and not mentioned. And so this refuge retreat is an opportunity, a weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, for mindfulness practitioners for those who experience domestic abuse at home. And there's no charge for that either, right? And events like this are so important for people's well-being. And so again, they're paid for by our generous donations that we receive from you all. And so the practitioners who sit with us learn new ways, right, to address fear and anxiety and stress, because making a decision to leave can be very hard. A lot of uncertainty, right? Even for individuals who are not experiencing situations like that, fear and anxiety oftentimes stops us from making healthy decisions sometimes, or nurturing decisions. And so during our refuge retreats, when we work on mindfulness ways, again, through the Buddhist teachings, through the Dharma, of how we can nurture our own well-being, right? And so it's a very, very important and meaningful retreat that we offer. Also new for 2024 were our mindfulness walks. Walking meditation is an important meditation, and it's at a local garden, almost like a big arboretum over where we are. And we walk for about an hour or so with a short Dharma talk. And so that was a new one. So not a lot of attendance for that so far this year. For 2024, it was a new offering, and sometimes it takes a little bit of time for someone for events, new activities to take traction. So we'll see for 2025. So it'll be back. But we walk around the beautiful garden. There's a wonderful flower garden where all the butterflies and the honeybees come by, and there's a koi pond, and you can see the fish swimming and so forth. And so it's a really beautiful area. It's not too far from our center. You can walk around there. It's at the Living Legacy Gardens in Staples, Minnesota. If you're close by, you can look it up and see where it is. Continuation from previous retreats are just our meditation retreats, right? So again, those are for the weekends, those are for Sundays, Sunday afternoons, or all days, I should say, all day Sundays from the morning until the afternoon, consisting of Dharma talks, guided meditations, free time, free time to do some activities and some self-reflection on your own, grabbing natural objects, that one may find there, and working on the powers of observation as well in those meditation retreats. And then silent retreats as well. So very much like our meditation retreats, these are entirely silent. So again, on a Sunday, somebody would show up and spend the day with us very quietly, right? Silent retreat, no talking, right? That allows us to really get in tune with ourselves, trying to remove the distractions that someone's busy life may have. And it can be challenging. That's one thing I've noticed since hosting silent retreats. It's challenging sometimes for individuals to not talk, to sit and be with themselves. And so that was about the same as last year as well, attendance wise. Our weekly support sanghas, right? Our sutra studies, LGBTQ sanghas, veteran sanghas, well-being sanghas, new beginning sanghas, teen sanghas. These are our weekly sanghas that are offered, right, for all those different demographics. You can look at our websites to see the days and times. There's no charge for those, to simply register. And those have a good turnout. Several of them have a really good turnout, and we sit there and talk. It's non-dogmatic. We do some mindfulness and guided meditations and so forth, but a lot of times it's kind of free-flowing, right? Because everybody's lives are free-flowing as well. So we try to keep this a little bit more on the non-regimented side, so people can, how do I handle this situation mindfully, right? What actions? What are right actions, right thoughts, right? And so check out our weekly support sanghas. Again, they're offered via Skype, and again, no charge for those as well. Again, it's so hard to charge people sometimes. We want to help, right? We want to help, and so we do as much as we can to just give back to the community. Something else that was new that we started in 2024 was every Monday we have our in-person community meditation and Dharma talk. So on Monday mornings from 10 to 11, We sit there and we have a guided meditation, the Dharma talk, much like we do on these live streams for about an hour. And again, that was a new offering over 2024, and so it's going to take a little bit, month or two to get traction and so forth for attendance to come up. So those are our retreats and offerings. And so again, we love out there being supporting to the community, right? Sharing the Dharma, sharing mindfulness with others like you, right? So they can nurture and develop and find joy in life and remove or at least minimize or mitigate, stress and anxiety and uncomfortableness and so forth. And so to even kind of help that out, we even revamped and updated a lot of our Dharma Institute courses. Right? So you can find this on our website as well. And all of our courses, and some of them are still being worked on. We have one for addiction recovery that's being worked on right now. It should be up shortly, but so many. We had 6 new courses, right? In addition, so we revamped all of our courses and added 6 new ones. Again, they're all asynchronous, so you can take them at your own pace, right? You always have, instructor support, unlimited instructor support. So you're not left on your own trying to, study the material, make those important connections. And the 6 courses that we added, right? So the 4 Noble Truths, the Noble Eightfold Path, exploring the Dhammapada, the 5 Precepts, mindful parenting, right? A lot of us are parents and we want to raise our children with mindfulness and awareness to navigate, right, challenging worlds. And then mindfulness for educators for 6th to 8th grade for our middle school students. So again, introducing and practicing mindfulness in the school setting is as important as well. Again, especially for the 6th to 8th graders, and even in high school, that will be a new course coming up for the high school ages. But middle school is a challenging time, right? It's a challenging time for many students. Again, dealing with social media, acceptance of themselves and their peers and peer pressure and so forth. Our channel growth, our YouTube channel growth this year has really been nice. And it's all thanks to you, right? It truly is. At the beginning of the year, we were just a little under 55,000 subscribers. At the end of this year, at the end of 2024, we're expecting probably about 297,000. And that's over 240,000 new practitioners. And I think that's wonderful, right? Again, learning mindfulness, learning the Dharma, practicing the Dharma, sharing the Dharma helps so many people. Even if it is only one video that someone may watch, even if it is only one guided meditation, even if it is only one short that someone may view, it can be life-changing. And so to know that we have this year over 240,000 new practitioners, I don't call them followers or subscribers, okay? YouTube does. I call you all practitioners because that's what we do. We practice mindfulness. And in such, to kind of go along with that, 1.4 million views. I think that's wonderful, right? It's not because of the number. It's not because of, any type of analytics in that sense. It's because people are reaching out for support, for help, so they can learn the Dharma, so that they are easing their own suffering, The Buddha teaches two things: the cause of suffering and the cessation of suffering. And that's what we like to help provide, right? An understanding, perhaps a different view, a little bit to some degree, or explanation for some of his teachings to make that connection for someone. If you remember one of our talks, right, on the ages of Buddhism, we're in a Dharma decline. So a lot less people are becoming enlightened, right, following that path. So it's really nice to see that that connection's out there. Who's following? Who's looking at us? Wonderful countries: India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Indonesia, Vietnam, and Canada. Right, those are our largest practitioner groups, right, for our channel. Welcome, thank you, each and every one of you. Delighted to see that. Makes a connection, right? Worldwide, makes a connection. So one thing I mentioned, talking about some of our retreat offerings and our donations, I mentioned those. This year, our donations slightly down a little bit than previous years. We were only at about $530, right? But again, that's enough to support those who need it, right? Our teenagers, right? The refuge retreats for domestic violence supporters. And so if you're interested, you're certainly able and more than welcome to support us in that sense. But know that we're always here. We're going to be here for you regardless of such. So we do have a different goal for 2025 for our donations, and we'll talk about that. Can be for later, right? But know that what is contributed goes right into our programs, not to me, not to anyone else, right to our programs, to the communities, and to practitioners such as yourself. And so we certainly look forward to a very joyful new year, right? Meeting new people, connecting with others, and sharing the Dharma with the world, right? With the entire world. So we're delighted for that. So now our next talk will be on January 6th. I don't have a topic just yet. Sometimes I really have to find something appropriate. It's probably something with the new year, right? Setting, not necessarily goal setting. I don't like to use the word goals. I like intentions. So it'll probably be something along the setting mindful intentions along those lines. I said it now, right? So now that has to be the topic. So that's cool, right? All right, we will end with the 3 jewels. I take refuge in the Buddha. I take refuge in the Dharma. I take refuge in the Sangha. Sathu, Sathu, Sathu. With that, my friends, I thank you all for joining us this evening. Right? Thank you for coming. And I want to wish you and your families and your loved ones many, many warm blessings, good health, long life, prosperous life, with just love and gratitude for the upcoming new year. Many blessings to you all, and we will see you again on January 6th. Take care, my friends.